Hello everyone. Students, as you all know that we have already started the first chapter of class 12 chemistry, that is solid state. In the previous class we have covered some portion of solid state chemistry, part 1 that is. Now in today's class we are going to discuss about some more topics of solid state chemistry. So this is the part 2. So let us start today's class. See, in today's class first we will be discussing about the crystal lattice and the unit cell. As you can see, it is written here and some pictures are also given here. See, crystal lattice is nothing but, in simple words we can say, these are the regular repeating arrangement of different points in space. Here the points mean the constituent particles, that may be your atom, ions or molecules. So when these atom, ions or molecules, when they are repeating itself again and again to make a definite geometry, we call it as a crystal lattice. See, the definition is given here. The regular arrangement of the constituent particles of a crystal in a three-dimensional space. So these are the particles which repeat itself over and again throughout the crystal or in the three-dimensional space to give a particular geometry. So we call it as a crystal lattice, or the other name is the space lattice. You can see in this picture here, lattice, these are the points, or these points when repeat itself again and again to give a definite geometry, we call it as a lattice. Okay, so this entire geometry is called as a crystal lattice or a space lattice. Now some characteristics features of this crystal lattice is there. See, these points represent in the crystal lattice is called as lattice point. The point here is given. See, you can see in this picture the small points which are given here, we call it as a lattice point or lattice site. And these points are occupied by the constituent particles, which may be the atom, ions or the molecules. Okay, now the third one is that you can see that these points are joined together by a line. Okay, these lines are just imaginary lines to give a particular geometry to the crystal lattice. So this is all about your crystal lattice. Okay, the second one is the unit cell. Now what is this unit cell? You can see in this picture, the smallest portion of the crystal lattice is called as the unit cell. So this small portion of the unit cell, when this repeat itself again and again, and it make the entire crystal lattice. So unit cell when repeat itself again and again and give a definite geometry to the crystal lattice. We can compare this with an example of wall. All of you have seen the wall, and we know that the walls are made up of bricks. Now the bricks here is considered as a unit cell which repeat itself again and again to make an entire wall. So this wall is considered as a crystal lattice and the bricks are considered as a unit cell. So I think this is now clear to you what is a crystal lattice and unit cell. In simple words, we can call crystal lattice, it's a regular repeating arrangement of different points in space. Here points are the atoms, ions or the molecules to give a definite geometry to a crystal. And the unit cell, it is the smallest portion of the crystal lattice which when repeat itself again and again and it make the entire crystal structure. Okay, so this is all about the crystal lattice and unit cell. Let's move on to the next topic. Parameters of unit cell and its type. Now the parameters of unit cell. Now how can we give a definite shape and a definite shape and size to a unit cell? Now it can be known by the parameters of the unit cell. To give a particular shape and size to the unit cell, we can define its parameter. So basically a unit cell is characterized by 6 parameters. Just remember, total 6 parameters are there to define a particular unit cell. See, the length along the 3 edges. It has 3 edges, or we can say the 3 edge length. See, these 3 lengths you can see here in this picture, the 3 length A, B and C. These are the 3 lengths of the unit cell which are denoted as A, B and C. And at the same time 3 angles are also there, which is alpha, beta and gamma. So these 3 edge length and these 3 angles are called as the parameters of unit cell. See, The angle alpha, it is present between the length B and C. Angle beta, it is present between A and C, and angle gamma, it is present between A and B. So this is the parameter of a unit cell. It has 6 parameters, 3 length and 3 angles. Okay. The next one is the types of unit cell. So types of unit cell. So basically we have classified the unit cell into 2 categories. The first one is the primitive or simple unit cell, and the second one is the non-primitive or centered unit cell, which we will be discussing in the next slide. See, the first one is the primitive or the simple unit cell. What is this primitive and simple unit cell? Now, in primitive or simple unit cell, the constituent particles are present only at the corners. Remember, only at the corners, not in any other position of the unit cell. So here it is also given that the unit cell in which the particles are present only at the corners, we called it as a primitive or simple unit cell. So basically there are 7 types of primitive unit cell which are given here. So this table is also given in your NCERT book. You just go through it. It's very important for your exams. Okay. See, total 7 crystal systems are given here. The first one is the cubic, rhombohedral or trigonal, tetrahedral, hexagonal, orthorhombic, monoclinic, and the last one is triclinic. The most important thing that you have to remember the edge length as well as the axial angles and some examples of it. See, in cubic, the edge length is A is equal to B, which is equal to C. All the 3 lengths are equal to each other. At the same time, the angles are all angles, that is alpha, beta and gamma is equal to 90 degrees in a simple cube. You must have seen the cube. So in cube, all the lengths are equal as well as all the angles are equal to 90 degrees. In the same way, in the rhombohedral also you can see 3 edge lengths are equal, but the angles are not equal to the 90 degree. In the same way, you have to just go through it each and every unit cell and see its edge length, axial angles and the examples. You have to learn this. It's very important for your exam. So total there are 7 types of primitive unit cells. Let's move on to the next topic. Centered or non-primitive unit cell. See, centered or non-primitive unit cells are those in which the constituent particles are present at the corners as well as in some other position of the unit cell also. See the difference between the two. Primitive is the one in which the particles are present only at the corners, whereas the centered or the non-primitive is the one in which the particles are present at the corners as well as in some other position of the unit cell also. See, different types of centered unit cell. Body centered, face centered and end centered. It's given here. Now, body centered is the one in which the particles are present at the corners as well as in the body or the center of the unit cell. Okay, so in the center of a body, see in the picture it is given here, a simple unit cell in which the particles are present at the corner as well as one particle is present at the center of the unit cell. At the same time, the second one is a face center in which the particles are present at the corners as well as at each face of the unit cell. See, all total of unit cell is having 6 faces. You can see in the picture, 6 faces are there and in each face an atom is present. So total 6 faces and each atom is present in the each face. So particles present at the corner plus in each face of the unit cell. Last one is the end center. Now in end center also the particles are present at the corners, 8 corners at the same time in any 2 opposite faces of the unit cell. You can see in the picture, the particles are present at the corners as well as in any 2 opposite faces of the cube. It may be just above and below or right and left, any 2 faces which must be opposite to each other. So there are 3 types of centered unit cell: BCC, that is body centered, FCC, that is face centered, and the last one is the end center. In BCC, the particle is present at the corners as well as one at the center of the unit cell. Face center, again at the corners, 8 corners plus in each face of the unit cell. And the last one at the 8 corners again and 2 opposite faces of the cube. So this is all about your centered or non-primitive unit cell. Okay. The next we have to, I think this much is clear to you now. Now let us move on to the next topic, which is your number of atoms in a unit cell. Okay, now just imagine, you know that in a crystal lattice it is made up of unit cell. Now these unit cells are joined with each other to form the entire crystal lattice. Okay, now what happened? One unit cell is again in contact with the another unit cell. In the same way, each unit cell is in contact with the other unit cell. So we have to find out the number of atoms in a particular unit cell. It means we have to find out that what portion or what fraction of that atom is actually present in the particular unit cell. Now, before just calculating that, just have a look here. You can see in simple cubic, there are total 8 corners in a cube. You know it very well that in a cube, total 8 corners are there, and each corner is having one atom. So total 8 atoms are there. But these 8 atoms in a particular unit cell must be shared by other unit cells also, because they are just joined with each other in a crystal lattice. So each atom at the corner must be shared by 8 other atoms, 8 other unit cells also. So what is the contribution of that atom in particular unit cell? Obviously it is 1 by 8. In the same way, in BCC you can see a body-centered unit cell, 8 atoms which are present at the corner. What is the contribution of that 8 atoms? It is 1 by 8 to that unit cell. And since one atom is present at the center, so it is not shared by any other unit cell. Okay, because it is present at the center of the unit cell. The next one is a phase center. Now, as just I have told you before this, that in phase center, each atom is present at the corner of the cube, that is 8 corner plus 6 faces of the cube. Total 6 faces are there in a cube, and each face contains one atom. Now you can see that if one atom is present in each phase, it must be shared by the other unit cell also. So that one atom which is present in the one phase, it must be shared by 2 unit cells. So what is its contribution to that particular unit cell? Obviously it is 1 by 2. Is clear? 1 by 2, because it is present in one phase, so it must be shared by other unit cell also. So total 2 unit cells are there in which one atom of the phase is shared. Okay, so in this way the number of atoms are there in the unit cell. Now the next thing that we have to calculate the number of atoms in a unit cell, different unit cells. Let us see. Okay, now the number of atoms per unit cell. See, first we will discuss in what is the total number of atoms in a simple cubic unit cell. We have 3 here: simple cubic, BCC, body center, and the third one is the FCC or face centered cubic. Now first we will discuss in simple cubic unit cell. See students, in the simple cubic unit cell, what is the total number of atoms per unit cell? It is equal to 1. Now see how it is 1. See, you can see the picture here, a simple cube. A cube is having, in total it is having 8 corners. So as I told you just before this, that 8 atoms which are present at the corner must be shared by 8 other unit cells also in a crystal lattice. Okay, so this 8 corner atom into 1 by 8. So we got 1. So the total number of atoms per unit cell in a simple cube is equal to 1. Okay, see the next one. In a BCC centered unit cell, number of atom per unit cell is equal to 2. Now what is the case of BCC, body centered cubic? 8 atoms at the corner plus 1 atom at the center of the cube. You can see here 8 atoms in the corner. What is its contribution to that unit cell? 8 into 1 by 8, which is equal to 1, plus 1 atom at the center of the cube, which is equal to 2. Got it? Okay, so the total number of atoms per unit cell in BCC is equal to 2. Now let us see the third one. In case of FCC or face centered cubic unit cell, the number of atoms per unit cell is equal to 4. Now how it is? See, again 8 corner atoms in a unit cell. The corner atoms, total 8 corners are there. So 8 atoms are there. So the contribution of these each atom is equal to 1 by 8. Okay, now each atom, I am telling you that each atom's contribution is 1 by 8. Again, 6 phases are there. So what is the contribution of this 6 phase atom? 6 into 1 by 2, because total phases are 6 in a unit cell and contribution of each atom is 1 by 2, that is half, because in each phase the atom is shared by the 2 unit cell. Okay, one is itself and the second is the neighboring unit cell. So the total number of atoms here is 4. I think is now clear to you. So in this way we can calculate the number of atoms per unit cell. The first one, in a simple cube the number of atom is 1. In case of BCC or body centered cube the number of atom is 2. In case of FCC or face center the total number of atoms are 4. This is very important for your exam. Okay. Now what we have learned today, just have a look. So first we have discussed about the crystal lattice and unit cells. Okay, crystal lattice, it is nothing but the arrangement of points or the atoms or the molecules, ions in space, in a 3-dimensional space, to give a definite geometry to a crystal. This is called crystal lattice. Lattice point we have discussed. Okay, the second one we have discussed is the unit cell. Unit cell is nothing but it is the smallest portion of a crystal lattice, which repeat itself again and again to make the entire crystal structure. The next we have discussed the types of unit cells, that is primitive and non-primitive. Okay, so a centered unit cell. Centered unit cell, we are having 3 types, that is body centered, face centered and end centered. So body center is the one in which the atoms are present at the corners as well as one atom at the center of the unit cell. Face center, atoms are present at each corner of the cube as well as 6 faces of the unit cell or cube. The third one is end centered, in which the constituent particles are present at each corner or 8 corner of the cube as well as 2 opposite faces of the unit cell or a cube. So the last we have discussed is the number of atoms per unit cell. I think today's topic is now very much clear to you. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, so please don't forget to give your feedbacks. So this is all for today. In the next class we will discuss the remaining topic of this chapter. Thank you, students.